if you're not a big spender, here's the number one event where you should spend your gems. And this event actually requires from you to have patience. And from the people who is watching my channel and my work from on Point of Videos, I'm a huge supporter of waiting, of patience, just to get the best rewards. When you make a strike, to get the best rewards. And once in the year actually this opportunity arrive, I speak with a lot of players and they are on the same page like me, and we're talking about March anniversary event. This is so far the best return of investment event. Obviously right now I don't have this event, but if I remember right, there is also artifact throwback where you can handpick which artifact you want to get. I'm not going to go in deep which artifact you should pick with the infantry or with mages or marksmen, but so far there is more events there that is just for your gems the best return of investment. Oftentimes those choices is choose your reward mechanics or better drop rates. Again, I'm a little sad because, you know, I decided to make oh my god, why am I actually open that? I decided to actually make this update where to spend your gems guide, just because the majority of where to spend your gems guides is outdated. There was some suggestion where to spend your gems, Wiki Spin. Well, Wiki Spin is not actually the best place, and with the time and with the experience, I'm playing like over close to 2 years, if I remember right. How many? It's like 822 days. So for sure it's like 2 years and more playing this game. I have lived through so many events and new events presented also in the game. Call of Dragons continue developing, presenting more and more events for the players, but so far the anniversary event, first of all, it's a great celebration for the game. You basically make one more year, and I think at this point the game is most generous to the players. But let's talk about how much you have to actually save. Now, from my speaking with other players that is, you know, also saving for this event, I think you need around 200k. Now, from first look, 200k is so much, but by saving 200k gems, it just give you access to premium artifacts unlocks. And I think this is also in the core. Now, a lot of people, now if you have a gems like me, as you can see, I have like 15k, but right now my focus is over other event. I'm going to maybe give you suggestion. Now this event is not related to your gems. Now, greatest heights is boosting your power. You're going to boost your power with speed ups. It can be research speed ups, it can be training, construction, if you still have, because at my level the only way I can actually get increasing the power is just by training troops. And this is little sad reality, to be honest, because I didn't actually, I make my push when I was opening the tier 5 at good event and I get some rewards there, but at the end of the day I think the city skin is something crazy and amazing, and I think the majority of the people should save their speed ups at least to hit 30 million boosting the power. But yeah, we're talking about gems, and I think this anniversary event is a great opportunity. Now, maybe I can actually give one more event that I think also maybe it can deserve your attention, but for this event you have to just save more keys, and this is the Forge of Light. When if you have like 250 keys and to hit 270 keys, you can save some gems for 20 pulls. You know, you have to be prepared for this PT for Forge of Light. This is also other event, and something that I noticed in Call of Dragons with the time, the focus from the heroes, because for old players, basically my core audience is basically old players playing Call of Dragons, but old players remember that back in the days, everything was focusing over the heroes. Everything was focusing over the heroes. after this, the pet system was presented in Call of Dragons, and the focus starts, you know, moving from the heroes to the pets, because pets is it's doing crazy job on the battlefield. It's great for defense, for garrison, it's great for rally, it's great for open field. Pets is something like third hero. And when you already have good developed heroes, you focus over the pet. And with the time, slowly the focus from the pet start moving in the artifact direction. It's something like this. Some people may say that heroes and artifacts was the main focus back in the days, but I think was majority was the heroes. After this was a huge hype over the pets, and after this was actually where the artifacts start actually to shine, especially with this exemplar. Now I'm a little mad that I don't have the exemplar, but it is what it is. So far there is just so many places where you can spend your gems. Right now I'm spending my gems over the 24-hour speed ups. By the way, if I have SVIP, I'm going to also buy these 24-hour training speedups, because basically I don't need construction, I don't need research, it's only troops training, and this is just going to help me more faster to hit this 2 million daily free healing that you can receive by having a lot of troops. This is my main target with the troops in general, but yeah, I'm spending on 24-hour speedups, and it's like 12k gems per week, which is a very decent amount. Now, right now I don't spend over the teleports, but I think teleports is also something I'm going to even get all of these teleports. Now, from time to time I spend over the 8-hour speed ups. Maybe I should actually go the 8-hour also. Because right now I'm buying the daily bundles, and yeah, I'm not going to go that much in deep over these things, but there is just so many places in Call of Dragons where you can actually spend your gems. And when the big event hit, like the anniversary, March month, the people just don't have that many gems and they're not prepared. And I think this is so far the best event in Call of Dragons, from my perspective, from a lot of other players' perspective. Now let me know in the comments which event you think is the best in Call of Dragons, and for which one you basically save your gems. And of course I'm going to be happy if you actually explain why this event actually deserves your attention. Obviously for WoW spenders, the ranking events is a tough cookie. I mean, this is a hard thing, especially when there's a wells. That's why this video is focused over the WoW spenders, and I'm not quite sure the free-to-play player can actually hit 200k gems, but if you're in the good alliance, you may actually hit for example 200 gems, but it's extremely hard. You need a lot of gold keys, gold chests, and in this gold chest there should be, you know, 10 gems here. It's just little hard like this to actually collect gems. Now from point of gathering gems, I don't think this is actually also a good point. As you can see, 10 gems, it's slow process, very slow process when you're gathering gems and you're collecting gems as a free-to-play player. On the other side, I think with WoW Spender you may have the chance to actually collect these 200k gems, even though with the daily deals it's like 200, it's like 20,000 per week. So for 10 weeks you're going to be able, you know, to collect this this amount of gems to prepare for anniversary event. At least this is my suggestion. Again, I'm open for critics, for people who can suggest something else, but so far I think the anniversary event is the best in Call of Dragons. So I guess this will be for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you do, hit one like, subscribe if you're new to this channel, become a member if you want to support my work. I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.